Guest is Jack Goshert,
What's up?
owner of NWA Hype, one of the biggest streetwear stores, probably the biggest in NWA, one of the biggest in the state.
For sure.
I gotta also mention you're doing this at 22?
Yep, 22 years old.
That's pretty cool, so a lot of our audience will probably relate to you a little more.
For sure.
All right, so when did y'all open?
So we opened like a year and a half ago. We started just doing a convention in Northwest Arkansas. So we would have resellers and other stores come together and sell all their inventory and trade it. And we did that probably 4 or 5 times. From there, we started kind of selling wholesale to other stores that are kind of like this, but before we were this. Then we got enough capital to open this store like a year and a half ago. But I mean, we didn't have that much inventory. We probably had as much as behind you right now. But I mean, now we have probably 10 times that, so.
How'd you know it was time for a location?
You know, there was no store like that anywhere in the state, you know, until we opened. So I kind of figured there was a market for it, you know, after doing our events for so long. I had a ton of shoes and clothes, you know, in my storage unit that I was kind of selling online. And I was like, well, I mean, maybe if I just had it sitting in the mall, I'd probably sell more than I sell it online. So took the chance and, you know.
What would you say like the hardest part is?
Keeping track of inventory and customer-employee relations, you know, training employees and stuff. It's a really hard part. When we opened, well, we got the keys, and then probably 20 days later, we renovated and opened. So it was kind of just like immediate. So I graduated in 2018 from UARK, and then that whole May during graduation, I just kind of was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. So I just went for it. I started contacting people at the mall, and I was like, hey, I want to lease a spot in here. This was a good spot. And I was like, okay, like let's do it, like ASAP. From May, for me deciding, we got the keys in July, and then 2 weeks later, we opened in the first week of August. So that was just a crazy experience of, you know, immediately wanting to do the store, getting the keys, and then just opening like 3 weeks later was kind of just like so much happening at one time. Yeah, because we had to coordinate, you know, the renovation, the painting, the signs, the inventory. I hired employees all in that time too. So it was just like everything happened within a month, and we just like got going in August, and it's just been like a crazy ride like ever since.
How hard is managing inventory?
I mean, we have like over 3,000 shoes, so it kind of gets pretty hard to manage the inventory. Probably, you know, thousands of pieces of clothing too. I mean, this is just what we have here. You know, we have warehouses and storage units full of other stuff too. But I mean, yeah, we sell so many shoes and we buy so many shoes in store that it gets kind of hectic, you know, keeping track of, you know, what we're paying for stuff, what we're pricing stuff at.
How many employees do you have?
Right now I have 6 employees. So I have 3 full-times and 3 part-times.
Let's do a little tour of the store.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So I know your store is pretty popular with a lot of the athletes, and anytime like big artist guests come through, you'll them here.
Yeah, so whenever, you know, JJ's live, we'll have people come in, or, you know, the AMP will always try to, you know, hit them up and say, hey, come shop, you know, give them some free shoes, give them something that'll make them want to pull up. But I mean, we're lucky to know a lot of famous people personally, you know, the New York basketball team, you know, we know all them personally, so they come in and show love all the time. It's all sorted by size, so it's pretty easy to come in and just shop for, you know, whatever size we wear. But yeah, you know, like you said, from Dunks, Yeezys, you know, New Balances, of course, Air Jordans, you know, every single Air Jordan you can think of pretty much. Basically everything that's released in the past 5 years we'll have. So we've always had a small clothing selection. Obviously, these big pieces of furniture were never here. Whenever we opened, it was just all open in the middle. We can post some pictures of that. I'll send them to you. But probably almost 10 to 15 different clothing brands in here right now that we've been working with. Got some higher end stuff, Off-White, Gallery, Chrome Hearts, you know, the higher end stuff.
Spider fits too?
Yeah, people love the Spider Worldwide fits, Young Thug, Free Him.
Happy birthday, twin. So I don't want no smoke with you.
The most expensive single item has probably been like a Louis Vuitton bag. It was like $7,000, I think. That's probably the most expensive single item that we've had. Most expensive shoe, probably $4,000. The 1985 Chicago.
The red and white?
Yeah, so we have 1985 Chicago, it's worth around between 3 and 5K. That's probably the most expensive shoe we've ever had in here is that one.
You added the Louis.
Yeah, so we got a small little Louis Vuitton accessory section, you know, wallets and belts and stuff like that. We kind of just rotate stuff in and out of there as we get it. But yeah, we love Louis Vuitton. We have so much Louis Vuitton.
We have vintage for the vintage lovers out there.
Yeah, shout out Narrow Thrift, all of our vintage, best Arkansas vintage, NASCAR, band tees, Harley Davidson, whatever you want. Right, yeah, so this is all of our men's wall. The whole wall is men's sizes, 8.5 through 15. We actually carry some 16s and 17s too for the big boys.
The eBay dunk?
Yeah, so eBay dunk. I'm not a fan of that at all, but it is a popular one right now. But yeah, we definitely carry all the newest releases, even older Jordans for like the past 5-10 years of Jordan releases, we get those in all the time. These are definitely hard to keep in stock, size 12 and 13. But yeah, we definitely appreciate all the athletes that shop with us and take those 12 and 13s off our wall.
All right, well now we're back to the podcast corner, I guess, so let's hop back into the question.
All right.
So, objectively, it's kind of I know you know your market, but it's kind of a bold move to open, a store in the mall because a lot of malls are shutting down. So, like, what gave you that confidence?
Right. Yeah. So when we were opening, there was like more spaces that were empty than were filled in here, and it was like right at the start of COVID. So yeah, it was definitely a big risk, but I knew that worst case, I could just pull out and probably wouldn't lose that much money if I was gonna have to pull out. But I did sign like yeah. But yeah, it was like a 15-month lease. And I mean, this spot was just so perfect right in the middle of the food court. It's just like, this is the biggest entrance. We probably have the biggest storefront in the mall, like just full glass. So we were fortunate to be able to make it look really, really good in here and really bright. But yeah, it was definitely a big jump to open. I mean, and yeah, it could have gone badly, but I mean.
It's going, I think.
It's going very well. And I mean, that's all thanks to our customers that have been supporting us since, I was a reseller, and I can't thank them enough. And I mean, we've grown so much since then. I mean, it's been a year and a half, and like I said, we probably have 10 times the inventory that we had at the start. It's definitely, there's no stores like this in Arkansas.
You're competing with major cities.
Yeah, like our selection is A1. And we're getting new brands in here every single day.
I think that's why you get the big name rappers.
Right, yeah, so we've had Duke Deuce, Waka Flocka Flame, Young Bands, OG Parker producer, he produces for Migos. We've had a couple big names in here. A lot of them that we just didn't know they were even gonna come, but they heard about our store from athletes or word of mouth. And yeah, shout out JJ's Live, he always puts in a good word for us whenever he's booking some artists. But yeah, we've been fortunate to have some pretty big names in here.
You put on for Fayetteville.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So a little advice to people, if kind of wanting to start a business, what's kind of your perspective or personal experience on leveraging personal capital to start a business?
Yeah, for me it was kind of just I went all in with everything that I had, which is,
hustle, all money in.
Time to collect, all money in, just imagine what I gross back.
It's right, it's what you gotta do, if you really have that dream and that idea. I mean, as far as someone starting their own business, it's you gotta have that passion for it, and if you don't wanna do it, every single day, from when you wake up to when you go to bed, and you shouldn't probably do it. Because I was in here from open to close after hours for probably the entire first 8 to 10 months that we opened. I was here every single day, open to close, just really putting the work in,
It looks nice on the outside, but people don't see the work it takes.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work that goes into this.
You gotta be ready to put so much into it before you see any return.
Right, yeah.
Marketing is a big part of that.
Oh, it's everything. Marketing is everything because, you can have a really great business and make great products, but if you don't show anyone that, or no one's able to you don't get that exposure, no one's gonna know that you have these great products or a great business. So it's I see so many great ideas that they just don't know how to market it. I see a lot of local and national brands, they're not social media marketing, they're not building a website, they're not, doing the photography, they're not, there's a lot of work that has to get put in if you want that outcome. A big part of marketing is word of mouth. So, we always try to, like you said, whenever any athletes or, anyone that has, some clout, if they have some clout, then, we're gonna give them something to, post it, because it's their followers are gonna see that and be like, okay, maybe I will stop at that store in Fayetteville next time I'm there. So it's really word of mouth is huge, and, social media is huge, that almost all of our customer base, we communicate on social media. So with marketing and branding, you really just gotta stay true to yourself, and you can't switch it up all the time. We wanna change our logo, or we wanna, change this. It's people are gonna forget about it when you start changing stuff. So you gotta really just stay consistent with it, and you just gotta own it. And just be okay, this is what we are, this is what we do, you just gotta really own it.
I know you do signings.
Right, yeah, we've done some autograph signings with football and basketball players last season. So we would just have them here, you know, Hogs fans could come in and get stuff signed from them. We'd have them here for an hour or two. And, you know, those people, you know, might end up being customers of ours. So it's kind of a win-win situation for them and for us.
I think that ties back to what you're saying about you knew your audience. It's going to be streetwear fan, a lot of those like sports,
Right.
and you kind of just find ways to market that
Yeah.
tie into your brand.
Yeah, I would say the culture of NWA mixed with like college athletes and, you know, just, I mean, NWA as a whole is kind of just growing.
It's only going to get bigger, bro, because I
Yeah.
think NWA is only going to get bigger. So
Right, yeah, it's just such a growing area, and, you know, we're just kind of, you know, making sure we're that staple shoe store. It's just like, you know where to go if you want to get some nice shoes and clothes.
I've spent a couple $100s in
Oh
there.
yeah, we appreciate you, Noah. We're keeping Noah fresh.
Are you farther than you thought you'd be?
That's a good question.
It's tough because I think if you're like me, you're so far away from where you want to be and like your goals.
But you're also so far from where you started, so
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, we definitely come such a long way, and, you know, we've just been so successful over the past year and a half, and I'm just like so grateful for that. But it's also like, you know, we need more. We need to, you know, grow more. We need to, you know, fill those spots that we're not, you know, hitting. You know what I'm saying? We gotta.
Yeah, that's how I know you're gonna make it, Jack. That mindset right
Yeah,
there.
so we gotta keep going. We gotta fill those gaps. We can't get too comfortable. You know, we gotta stay active, you know, with our marketing and, you know, customer service and stuff like that.
I'd say, yeah, building a business and scaling and just to be successful in general, you're probably always learning something. So.
Yeah, I mean, stuff changes all the time. You know, there's always things that come up that, you know, we have to deal with, whether it's like, you know, fraudulent orders or, you know, security issues or, you know, scheduling things. Like, there's just a lot of things that happen, you know, where it's just like, we got to figure it out, and it's really hard to manage all that stuff at once.
You have a tip for managing stress?
You can't just look at everything you have to do and then just freak out. Like, you got to just think, okay, what has to be done the quickest, and you just do that first. And it's like, you got to just really buckle down and focus, because I mean, you can't just sit in your bed and just think about all the things you got to do. Like, you really just got to start and do it. If you really sit down and do, like, you can do anything you put your mind to. Like, you really just got to sit down and just like go step by step. You're like, okay, you know, I got to call this person. Oh wait, that didn't work. You know, I got to email this person, or
Be persistent.
or
for
research
sure.
that. Yeah, you just got to be persistent. And I mean, if you call the right people, and I mean, we have internet at the tips of our fingers. Like, literally, you can start any business from the internet. Like, whatever you want to do, you just have to buckle down and do the research, call the right people. I mean, networking is a huge part of it, obviously. Knowing the right people, and, you know, if you don't know the right people, you got to meet the right people. So it's like, you got to put yourself out there, even if it's somewhere like LinkedIn or, you know, a social event, or, you know, you just got to meet the right people. And I mean, a lot of that happens on accident. You know, you don't realize you'll meet someone and they'll be like, okay, wait, I can work with them and do this, or okay, wait, they can help me, you know, with this maybe in the future. So it's like, keeping a lot of those contacts close is definitely a big part of networking. So that's really important too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know a lot of the athletes. We were in the Musselman's box at the basketball game the other day.
So yeah, we're definitely close with, I mean, UARC athletes for sure. I mean, a lot of other important people that we know, you know, we've been grateful to meet. I mean, I wouldn't have met them if I didn't have this store. So it's kind of like, you know, when you have this high dollar store, you know, expensive shoes, expensive clothes, it kind of attracts high dollar people.
Your network is your net worth.
Exactly. So it's like, I mean, money attracts money, and, you know, all this high dollar stuff, you're gonna have some high dollar clients, and it's like those high dollar clients, like, you can network with, and they can probably help you out. You guys can scratch each other back.
I appreciate you coming on, Jay.
Yes, sir.
That'll
Appreciate
wrap
you,
it up
Noah.
for this episode. Y'all know where to come for any streetwear if you're in NWA. We out.